Yo, what's going on? Today is Friday, September 26th, 2:28 p.m. and today we made $3 taking a trade on the Nasdaq. Coming into the day, let's take a look at the 4-hour. We were respecting this 4-hour gap here and this other gap, so that's conviction. That's conviction to be bearish. Look at the 1-hour. We're just making higher lows, lower lows, higher lows, lower lows. And on the 15-minute, the same thing goes. We were just bearish. I mean, this is a clear bearish indication to me. One thing that I did want to see pre-market was this 15-minute gap is basically a condition to 831. If we would have tapped it and then continued higher, then the rest of the day I would have looked to be bullish. But we ended up playing around and then inversing it at 10 a.m. So after 10 a.m. I was bearish, trying to get an entry to London lows. That never happened. And then to these PM lows, which is the trade that I took. But as you can see, reversed up. Now, getting into the trade that I took, I forgot to mention that I had it recorded for a TikTok. But yeah, here you see, there's my market order. I traded from home actually for the first time too. It's pretty nice. It was pretty cool. But yeah, we set everything. You see risk parameters and everything. Just waiting on it to play out. But yeah, again, I traded from home. Oh, right here, midnight open rejection. So this is where I had hope. I had more hope right here. And then you see it really start displacing, and then it said never mind. But yeah. I'm glad, like, look how calm I am, bro. This is not how I was before. And I'm glad that this is how I am now. Just playing the drums and shit. But, yeah, I traded from home with the new setup. It's freaking fire, dude. And now, as you see, we're in profit. Yeah, we're just selling off. I had hope. I had a lot of hope here that was going to deliver. Break even now. Thankfully, after sitting in all that drawdown, I got to go break even. And then it immediately shot up. Thankfully, it let me go break even though. But yeah, that was a recording. See you. We were, like I said, we were chopping around that 15-minute, and once we inversed it, that's when I started looking to seek sells, because as you see, look at the displacement on the inverse. On the 5-minute, same thing. We inverse this and we continue down. So we leave this entire price leg with a couple gaps. We have one gap here, we have one gap here, and then we have also a 15-minute gap right here. So what this 5-minute does is it leaves a gap to the upside, balancing out this 5, balancing out the 15, and tagging into the upper 5. So immediately there, that's bullish indication. So if I want to see a short, I don't want to see us leave a gap and kind of run through and inverse these, but immediately we displace down, inversing it to the downside. Now the 5-minute looked good. I was kind of like, I want to take just the 5-minute alone. However, since we had just inversed the gap to the upside and then inversed the gap to the downside, I want to see structure out and not just taking the first inverse. This still isn't a bad trade, I feel. This 5-minute still I don't feel is a bad trade, because we are testing and coming out of these 5 minutes and we have good bearish indication. However, like I said, because we just inversed to the upside and then back to the downside, I want to see structure to confirm that bearish momentum is what we're going to continue through. And we get that exactly. We tag back into this 5. And on this 5, we leave this 1-minute gap. And once we inverse it, this is when I take my entry. So 565. Let me move this. Gotta 565, 565. Basically at my entry already. All right, cool. I didn't know that, but it's at my entry already. So boom, would have been a 2.86 R trade to PM lows. As soon as we enter, we see maybe a millisecond of profit, and then we just sit in drawdown for 10 minutes. 10 minutes of straight drawdown, and then we tag our break even point, which was this low, this 1050 swing low, and then we immediately shoot up and would have ran my full stop loss. Now, this trade was coming off of, like I said, that 5-minute and the rebalancing of this whole leg. And we just had good bearish order flow, and there was good bearish indication, and we had structure out of it with a 1-minute gap. That, to me, is a solid trade. This isn't a trade that I wanted to take on my funded, because the rest of the day, we were moving decently, but we never got those clear entries. And on days where we can't see a clear entry, or the market's not giving me a clear, like, yo, take me trade, then I'm going to just relax on the funded and just play the riskier eval plays. This to me is still like a B to B plus trade, kind of like a B.75. And yeah, I'm taking this trade probably if I see it ever again. Nothing for me to complain about on this trade. Unfortunate that it didn't go my way. The only thing I will say that was probably wrong about this was that you see this gap. It's took, my bad if you hear something in the background. Pops is doing construction. It took 8 minutes to inverse. That was the problem with it. And I like the displacement. That's why I entered on it. And there was a good close too. I was able to market order it. But it did take a while to inverse. If it really wanted to dump, like if this really wanted to just shit the bed and go down, it would have done it within one of these 3 candles, not all the way over here. That was the only thing that I will say was shitty about this trade. Now, what I am glad that I did is I'm glad that I didn't just enter on the 5-minute immediately. I'm glad that I waited on a condition. Like I waited on, fuck, why did I forget the word? I said it earlier. Like the 1-minute structure, my bad. I'm glad that I waited on structure, because had I entered the 5-minute, I would have ran full stop loss and gotten obliterated. But I'm definitely glad I waited on structure. That shows more discipline, and it makes sense, because if we're inversing a 5-minute to the upside and then to the downside, we're basically playing ping pong. Now, the downside obviously was my bias for the day. Bearish was my bias coming into the day, and it looked like it good, and we even rebalanced all of this price leg. This whole price leg got rebalanced. Okay, cool. But we had just inversed that. So I need that structure. We got the structure, and I didn't hesitate. I entered. There's not much more I could do. Like, there's not much more I could ask myself to do. I entered. I risked like $40 less than I would, but that was because it would have been like a flat 500. I'm like, you know what? This is a high risk to reward trade, 2.86, and I'm cool with just that $50 just staying. Like, you know what I mean? So not too mad at that. That's still within my risk parameters of 450 to 500 kind of getting to, but yeah, I mean, this was the trade of the day. Ended up somehow still profitable. Usually when I go break even, the fees run me. But hey, made $3. All profit is good profit. That means that we end this week up 371. That's 3 green weeks in September. I mean, this is probably my best month yet. This 100% is my best month yet, and I can see it as far as, you know, my discretion improving, my read on price improving, my discipline improving, kind of my conditions improving, what I want to see coming into the day improving. My bias, I would say, like almost the last 4 weeks has been 85 to 90% correct. It's just now I got to really pinpoint and work on finding those entries. And that's one of my goals, is work on pinpointing and finding entries exactly to the T. And the other goal, of course, is still going to be the funded. Work on being more comfortable on funded. Like work on kind of like how I had that, like how I am on eval, kind of with the, it's cool, like hands back. If we lose, we lose. I want to get to that point on funded. Now I do also, to get to that point, I kind of have to work on my discretion with trading on my funded account. We took 2 dubs the last 2 trades, and those I didn't take on my funded, and I had my reasoning behind them, which was, you know, that last week was just wasn't a good week for me. And then so I just kind of wanted to chill, end the week off, just relaxed. And then Friday and Monday was a no news Monday. I'm not trading my funded account on a no news Monday. I'm cool. I'm not mad at it. I do need to find those entries though, so I can be more comfortable on it. But I'm glad at the way that I'm improving. I'm glad at the way that I'm learning. I need to continue. I need to actually up the ante. Like, I need to ramp it up. I need to really fucking go all in. Like, this is the shit I need to, like, I keep saying like, but this is what I need to go all in on. There's no fucking playing around. This shit isn't a joke. And I kind of like started to fall back. When I first got into it, I was balls deep, like 16 hours a day. And I kind of, once I started, you know, seeing like, I don't even know how to explain it. Once I like bought an eval, I kind of like took a step back almost in a way. And I want to get back to that point where I'm balls deep into just learning it, loving it, exploring it, enjoying my process, loving my journey. But overall, those are my goals for next week. Same thing, just improve that funded, and then just continue to build. Just continue to build and find those pinpoint entries. My read on price is getting a lot better. And this is one trade that I even am glad of, that shows, because waiting on that structure is what essentially saved me and thankfully let me go break even. But overall, the week, I mean, it's a green week. I can't complain. It's not much, but it's green. So yeah, we had high hopes of price being back on Monday because of Friday and Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and even a little bit today. Today wasn't too bad, but Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday kind of shit the bed for me. And that's for the way I trade, the way I look for setups. I'm very picky. And that's it. Let's add that as a goal. Kind of like really figure out if I'm being too picky or not picky, like, or if I'm being too picky or just enough. You know, that builds with that discretion and that finding entries. That's a part of it. That's all grouped into one. But yeah, back on how this week, as far as that, I remain disciplined. I took 2 setups that I'm not mad at, that I take every single time. So I can't complain. I'm learning and I'm seeing things. I'm seeing myself improve, which gives me more confidence in the market. So can't really complain about the week. It's a green week. It's a green month so far. So yeah, let's just continue to build and continue to work. This is an everyday thing and it's a long journey. So yeah, that's about all I really got for today. $3. But yeah, it's Friday, so have to catch you on Monday. Have a great, amazing, blessed weekend. Take care.